Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a warm welcome to the Red and Blue Review. My name is Nick Philpotts and I believe we are live to the nation, and I'm shortly going to be joined by my gracious team. I've got some good news before I even say hello to anybody on screen. Okay, I've got some great news to you, those of you watching out in Facebook land, is that Brighton are now 3-0 down against Leicester. So there's a good way, a good positive way to start the show. Right, so for those of you who don't recognise some of the people on screen, Grant Saunders, hello mate, welcome back.
Hello.
Hi buddy, and my sidekick Jel Holyoke, how are you, man?
I'm all right, mate. You know it is, same shit, different day.
Good stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, it is with my absolute pleasure to welcome back to the show after a bit long absence, Teresa Baker. Teresa, warm welcome back, my darling. How are you? Drop her down and bring her back, please, Tim. I'll say hello to her.
She looks all right,
Tim.
anyway.
She looks well. She looks well, but she doesn't want to talk to us. Oh, well, don't worry. She'll be there in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, out in Facebook land, I can see all of you. I can see the ones that are saying hello to us. Warm welcome. Great result, which we'll talk about in a minute. Andy Hopper down in Australia, I can see Daniel Garlick, Chris Gunn, Tom Samuel, John Knox, Dawn Clark. Good evening to you. John Mackenzie Kerr, Laurie Scotts, Sven, I can see you. Charlie Byrne, Tim, Ian Lyons, I know you're there. Robert Harmon and John Lyons. John, sending you lots of love from the team. We know you and I need to have a catch up. Guys, before we kick off, we've got lots to talk about tonight, obviously, and no more than that wonderful point against Spurs, high-flying Spurs, which we'll get on. So I need to send a message to one of our long-serving members, a member of the Questions crew, George Awagwu, whose father sadly passed away yesterday. George, on behalf of the whole team, sending you our love and our best wishes. And stay strong, mate. If you need anything, give us a shout. You know the rules. Teresa Baker, are you there?
Brilliant.
Teresa, we can see you. Boys, just wave at her. See what happens. See if she can see us. Teresa, unmute your mic if you're there. Tim, drop her down, mate. She's not going to talk to us. I wanted to talk to Teresa and find out how things were in her world in frontline A&E, especially at this time. But we'll come to. Hopefully, she'll come back in a second. Grant Saunders, good evening, mate. We're going to kick off with you then. In that case, I would like, if you'd be so kind, ladies and gentlemen, just so you're aware, Grant was one of the lucky 2,000 people that was at the game today. Teresa, can you hear me? No, she can't. Drop her off. Grant was one of the lucky 2,000 people, obviously sleeping with the right people at Sellers Park, to get a ticket for today's game. Grant, in your own words, mate, how was your experience today? How did you find things? How was the organisation? How was your day? Go for it. Not about the football, about the COVID issue, of course.
First of all, I need to say that Steve Parrish is actually crap in bed.
Yeah.
He got me a ticket. Yeah, my experience. I mean, you know, Nick, I had a bit of fun with the tickets. I got my email from the club that said, "Congratulations, Granty, you're going to a football match." I had a subsequent email come through with the health questionnaire, sent that back, and then I didn't get a ticket. So I rang them up, got nowhere with that. So I rang them again. Actually, I ended up speaking to the new box office manager, which is a very nice guy. And I have 7 home season tickets. They've all got my name on them. The club sells me these tickets every single year. And they said, we didn't issue any tickets because all your tickets got the same name on them. I'm thinking, well, how many times do you need to say the same thing? So we had that conversation, and I actually ended up going up the club the other day because a ticket was sent through to me, but another one wasn't that should have been sent through to me. I have a disabled ticket, and I got a carer ticket or PA ticket as well now. It didn't get sent through to me. They said, "Oh, we said you've got to email an attachment." I just got 4 emails, no attachments. It was a bloody joke. So I drove up there yesterday morning because didn't want to leave it till the last day, and just where I live, it's about an hour and 50 minutes drive. So just under 4 hours round trip. Got absolutely nowhere. Spoke to the people on the desks, and it was like just a rabbit in the headlights. It was pathetic. There was no one there that could really help you. I'm not the only one that's experienced it. I know I'm not. It was Crystal Palace. You know, it's something we as a club are very, very good at doing, not being good at things. That was that. And you think, well, we're talking about 2,000 bloody tickets here. Good grief! What if it was 4,000 or 6,000? Is this? Look, I know it's completely new, but actually providing tickets for people is not a new function in life. That's what a ticket office does. I actually ended up getting my tickets at about, what time is it, Jane? About midday today. Yeah, so from the process going down there, actually I went to the ground today, didn't have tickets. I drove up early because merry hell was going to be kicked. Let's just say that. But the tickets are the tickets. So you asked about my experience today. Actually, was the real question, wasn't it? Oh, Grant's on a rant here. I actually thought it was okay. Actually, I should say, when I went yesterday, I saw them actually up cleaning the cladding. So we had bright, shiny cladding, as shiny as it can get. You know, with the long brooms and everything. Well, I thought that's not been touched for 9 months. And oh, Nick's gone to a blue screen. Fantastic, he's gone. But today itself wasn't too bad. We had no trouble getting in whatsoever. The bloke on the door said to me, "Oh, have you had your bag checked?" Oh, yeah. Went straight in. No security check there. Temperature. I think mine was done, but Jane, my wife, she was with me and hers wasn't taken, but we went straight in. And what else happened there? That's about it, wasn't it, really? So I got my psychic here. So, Bobby, there's no problem getting in. There's no queues as such. I think I saw about 3 or 4 people in a queue after we went in, so we were looking out over top of Gate 1 of the Lower Holmesdale. But it's actually quite easy getting in, I have to say. When inside the ground, we were strictly told that we shouldn't be moving from our designated seat, and people were just wandering around. I'm in the back row. I wandered down the front, take some photographs. I've chatted with a few stewards. Nobody actually asked me to stay in my seat at all. So again, okay, it's new. Stewards are not necessarily professionals, but that was a little bit slack. If you think about the seriousness and the health and safety behind this, that was a little bit slack. Staggered times going in. I think we had staggered time of 1:15 to 1:45. Now you think about it, there were supporters in 3 stands. Holmesdale, well, 4 if you do. Holmesdale Lower, Holmesdale Upper, White Horse, Sainsbury's, and also the main stand. 2,000 fans are shared between those stands. I mean, I don't know why I had to stagger them so much, but we had stagger times going, which was good. It meant you weren't queuing, you weren't clusters of people. But coming out, you just all left at the same time. So, what's the point?
Oh, really?
I mean, it was mentioned to a steward afterwards. We thought you were going to stagger things going out. And they went, yeah, we thought that as well. But, you know, if no one's driving this, what can you do? But actually, it was a great experience, obviously, to be back in that ground. For me, walking up the stairs and going to the entrance where you finally see that bit of green, i.e. the pitch, at threshold, that was goosebump time. It was a nice experience. And just pretty crap on the organisation side of things. Thankfully, it's only 2,000 people, eh?
It sounds like Palace all over, though, doesn't it?
It's absolutely Palace glad all over. Absolutely Palace. I mean, it's what we're bloody good at, just doing things not very good. I've got to say something, sorry. The tickets, the PDFs that came out, with the seat number, it cut off at a single digit, and everyone should have seen this, everyone was listening. And when I was at the box office yesterday, I said, "Oh, just to let you know that I know that the PDFs, they're cutting off for just 1 digit. So you think you're in seat number 5, actually you're in seat number 59." And someone said to me, "Oh yeah, that could possibly be problematic, couldn't it?" "Oh yeah, can we speak to anyone?" "I don't know really." It's just, I feel for the guys on the front line because I know for a fact they remain untrained. They weren't trained in the last regime. And they're not trained now. There might be people listening now who know exactly what I'm talking about. Sort it out.
Okay,
I will breathe.
Okay.
Oh,
So
by the way,
and
can you see my poster in the background? Where is it? Up there.
yeah, there.
That's Nick from the ground today.
What does it actually say? So people can actually tell. What does it actually say?
It says, "Welcome back to Sellers Park. We've missed you."
Well, indeed. Welcome back, and also a warm welcome. Let's try this again. A warm welcome back to Teresa Baker. Teresa, how you doing, Marnie? Hello.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Oh, we can hear her. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, before we are going to get onto the game, I promise you, but we have something very important to cover. And bear in mind, we are still living in COVID times. For those of you who don't know, Teresa is one of our frontline sisters, okay, in A&E, I think it's down in Red Hill. Now, I'm sure you'll want to say thanks to her and her team for what she's doing. But Teresa, from the horse's mouth, please, can you tell me how is the world at the moment? How is your life on the front line in A&E as we speak?
It's busy. We are seeing more COVID patients, but they're not as sick as they were during the first lockdown. We're not seeing so many intensive care patients or patients that are needing ventilating through A&E, but we are getting younger people coming through with COVID symptoms, quite severe COVID symptoms. So low oxygen saturation in their blood. More and more younger people are coming through.
I want to ask you about, because I don't know if you've seen those shows recently, but my sign-off has been wear your face mask, wear your face mask, wear your face mask, okay, on every show. Teresa, from your expert opinion, how important is the wearing of the face mask, please?
It's really important. Really important. If you've got your face mask on, you're not transmitting airborne bacteria, aerosol bacteria. And if you're wearing a face mask, you're not receiving it. So it's going to protect you. That's why I hate the slogan, hands, face, space. It's such a shit slogan, but, don't even get me onto what they've done wrong in this. So, but yeah, wear your face mask. It's not difficult. And you can breathe through them. I do it for 12.5 hours in a shift.
Wear it like that.
Yes,
not like
over
that.
your nose and mouth. It's not difficult.
Nose and mouth, correct. Right, okay, so Ian Lyons is saying, blimey, Nick, in the chat. I don't know what he's saying, blimey. Let's have a look at some of the comments in there. Colin Squires is saying, thank you, Teresa, for everything you do. You're at my local hospital. Joan Wells is saying, good evening, Joan. Thanks, Teresa, and all the NHS staff. Michael Middleton saying, hi, Teresa. Thank you so much. Georgia Wagru, I hope you saw our message at the top of the show to you and your family, George. We're thinking of you. Way to go, Teresa, he says. Joanne Phillips is saying, bless your heart. They love you, Teresa. Paul Glance is saying, tasty
you
Teresa.
Did kind of broadside me with that, Nick.
I did it for a reason, because I wanted to invite you back on to say, A, we miss you as a Palace fan, but more importantly, we miss you as a professional for the future. Tell everybody how things are in the current world. Lord Holyoke, think we better speak to each other? What do you do? Give me your overall thoughts on today's game before we get into the detail.
Surprisingly, I thought we were very good for large parts of it. I thought we deserved what we got. Yeah, I mean, to cover it in 30 seconds, Guaita had a mare. Guaita was the best, at 3 worldies. I mean, you go from the ridiculous to the absolute sublime. I mean, Kane thought he'd scored 100%. Dyer thought he'd scored 100%. And I can't remember the first chance that he saved in the first half. And they all thought. I mean, they were quite literally, goal saving saves. Unbelievable. We played fantastic. See someone on Twitter turn around saying Benteke was man of the match. About to block the geezer. Honestly, I can't. But yeah, I mean, and Grant and the other couple of thousand there were very good as well. Yeah, very vocal. It was good. It was good to see. It was good to hear. The fake noise has been a nightmare. But yeah, all good. And most of us have little faith Didn't think we were going to, most of us thought we were going to get humped. You thought we were going to get humped, and then rings me today and goes, I've had an apparition. We're going to win 2-0. And honestly, Sunday, I thought he'd been on because he's not at work. I thought he'd been on the field. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, nobody's more surprised at me than that. And in all honesty, I think Benteke had his proper, got his goal scoring head on today. I thought, we could have won that. It could have been 4-4. That's what it could have been. Well, it should have been 4-4. I mean, if we'd have won that, we probably would have robbed them. If I'd have won it, I would have felt hard done by because of it was a good performance. So, but yeah, I said to my son when we came up for the first half, I said 72% versus 28. That's what it will be, the possession today. And I was so pleased that it wasn't that. I mean, I know you'll have all the stats in the opinion. But
I think it was 46-54 or something like that in the end, so roughly.
Wow, yeah, brilliant. Really pleased, really pleased. And I thought everyone played their parts today. And like I said to you before, if Benteke's crap, I'll say he's crap. If he's been good, I'll say he's good. And I thought he done all right today. I mean, the what is it? It's like the Laura and Harvey and whatever, the two things that come together is Benteke and the offside flag. He must have been infuriating today, Grant.
A little bit.
How many times was he offside? Has anyone got that stat? Nigel Croucher.
Nigel Croucher.
That card, yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, it's a little bit frustrating. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching this in the world, please hit your share button. Please hit your watch button or your watch party button and share this right now with your own wall. So give it an opportunity for this to be reached by anyone on your wall and give us a wider audience and a better exposure. Don't forget, you can always find us on Twitter, YouTube at any time to watch, listen or download this and any other of our podcasts, or ask your Alexa, please play the latest Red and Blue review. I have to whisper this bit in case my Alexa picks it up. Alexa, play the latest Red and Blue review podcast. Okay. Or better still, just go to redandbluereview.co.uk where they're all on there, including some really good and interesting interviews we've done over the course of time. Right, let's kick off here, boys and lady, with the starting lineup. Now, I didn't do a Philpott player prediction this week because my player prediction was obvious. You ain't going to change a winning formula. It wasn't rocket science. And sure as eggs are eggs, okay, it was an unchanged. It was a typical Roy decision, really. He didn't change it. There was no need to. So it was Guaita, Klein, Coate, Cahill, Van Aanholt at the back. Okay, with Schlupp, Milivojevic, MacArthur, and Eze in midfield with Benteke and Zaha. Grant, would you have changed anything within that starting lineup? And then Trees, I'm going to ask you the same thing.
Nick, I'm just going to ditto exactly what you said. I mean, why would you change it? We see the team they were setting up with as well. We were quite solid in the last game. Why would you change it? People say, we only played it 10 men last time. No, I think we did the right thing. When I say we, I think Roy chose the right thing to do. It's a boring answer, but where would you change it?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We all would like to see some different players on there. We'd like to see Batman getting his try, but the job was done. I think I echo what Jel was saying. I think Tekers at the moment, those 2 goals helped him. He's a different man out there at the moment. Let's not get too excited. Let's not get talking about Europe and stuff like that. But he's a different man out there. He's got confidence. He's wanting to try. I mean, his second goal last week. Sorry to go back there, but you wouldn't have seen him do that before. All you would have seen him goes like, I can't get it. But he's a different man now. He links up well with players. Why change it?
Teresa?
I tend to agree with Grant, although I might probably have dropped Luca. Maybe put... I don't know. Gyro, yeah. Gyro.
It's funny you should say that because I was going to ask about the...
maybe I would have put Mitchell in for Klein. Maybe.
Well, Mitchell went home on Friday. My understanding is with a cold, nothing serious. He was. I don't think he was. He wasn't even named on the suspension, was he? No,
yeah,
he wasn't even.
I missed the starting lineup.
No, Jel, the obvious yellow card for Luca once again, coming back after a 3-match suspension. Would you have played Luca or would you have played Gyro?
Oh, I mean, I prefer Gyro anyway. So I was hoping for the 60-minute substitution. It didn't come that far after, but yeah, I just think we look more. I think we look more assured. I don't know what it is about Luca at the moment. Yeah, if I was forced into a swap, I mean, like you say, you couldn't really change that team, but there would have been a couple of. Yeah, I'd like to have seen Batman come on after. I mean, I don't know whether Tekkers has got the whole game in him. I'd like to see him either come on, have a strong 2/3 of a game, or come on and come on for a third of a game at the end, but at least give him either 60 or 30 minutes, starting or whatever. And if that doesn't work, then we have got the other. You can't just come on. These are not the days of Davy Fairclough and the super subs where you just go, hey, you only need 2 minutes, mate. Go on, shoot on, score a goal, get us out of crap. Do you know what I mean? It ain't like that anymore. Players have to get their way into the game. So I would prefer that, and that's nothing about Ben Tickey. Like I said, I think he's played really, really well. He looked good in the air today. He was what we needed to give their centre backs a bit of a thumping, because as with all the Mourinho sides, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when he was at Chelsea, when they tackle, they absolutely 100% tackle. And it's the same with Spurs. When they go in now, they're taking ball, player. Right. But when it happens to them, I mean, I really hope in your notes, Nick, you've got something about this referee today. I really hope. Kevin Friend was
Kevin Friend
utterly appalling. I mean, I played football for most up to the age of 26. I probably played it for almost every week from the age of 8, with juniors right away when I got paid playing in South London. And the referees, they were always given a mark. The captains had to do a report. If you gave them underneath a 4, you had to write a report on why they were so bad. And that was a good way of getting referees out of the league. Because what they did, if you gave them 8 every week, they chucked them out of the league, but give them a league above. And if they were really, really bad, they chucked them down even further to the lower leagues. So it was always a way of getting rid of referees. These referees now, they are so biased and unaccountable. I'm just...
Jel, can you just keep your powder dry on Kevin Friend a minute? I'm coming straight back to you because I want Grant to just pick up on something you said just a minute ago, and then we're going to come back to Kevin Friend because you may not be aware of what I'm about to tell you about Kevin Friend in a minute, Jel. Grant, you wanted to say something, mate?
It's sort of obsolete now, really, but we're talking about will we have changed anything. The one change I saw today which made an instant impact on the game because it brought a bit more to the game, a bit more dynamic, if you like, was bringing Gyro on. So Jill alluded to he might have swapped Gyro in for him. You wouldn't change a winning team. He never does. But he made a true difference today.
Good stuff. And just to let you know, Grant, just so you're aware, Gyro and Benteke were both in my premonition that I sent to Jill about 10 o'clock this morning that we win 2-0. Shows you what I know. Yes, Teresa.
No, I was just about to say, when you're talking about the referee, it was... I'm not even sure why Luca got the yellow card in the first place. It was a really soft yellow card. And that foul was no different to the foul that Zaha had on him in the second half that should have been, yellow card for one, yellow card for the other. You can't just... Don't get me started about Kevin Friend. Can't stand
it. Well, he doesn't work like that anymore. The top 6... I mean, I don't know if you noticed this. Did you notice today when the ball was put up to Harry Kane that he didn't back in? Didn't do any of that today. Harry Kane's been sussed out. He was quiet. I said to you, Nick, I thought some would have would have caused us more problems than he did today. But I'd say the player I thought caused us all sorts of problems, and quite literally got away with it for 70 minutes was Ndombele. Like, he literally is a professional foul every 60 seconds. He strategically fouls. And I don't think he got a yellow card today. Again, I'd love to see the stats on how many fouls he gave away today. I bet it's double figures. It's ridiculous. And us, when we go over 9 times out of 10, our players, they are hurt. Their players go over. They've got to scream as they go over, and then as soon as Kevin Friend waved. I think it was who had the clash in the second half, where both players stayed down. Who got a cut lip? Jeffrey Schlupp got a cut lip, right? Schlupp. So the referee stopped the play for the Tottenham player because he was laying there like he'd literally been sniped, right? When all of a sudden, when he realises, I've got to go off, he gets up. But our people come off, so Jeffrey Schlupp has to go off. He's bleeding anyway. But their players should have had to go off. The play was stopped because they believed that he was badly injured. This pretense is literally, it's really hard, because what you don't want to do is ever see a player go down. He just go, he's got, he does it all the time. Don't worry about it. And the guy's eating his own tongue, or he's got 5 teeth missing, or he has got a broken neck, or whatever. You don't want to see that, but sooner or later that's going to happen, and people go, he does it all the time, he'll be all right. And it will result in a serious injury. This thing of literally faking your pain, and then when you get your free kick or the other player, you've got him strategically carded, what Watford used to do at Wilf all the time, then it's job done. They just get back up, and you're thinking, it's what I don't like about the Premier League. It's why this is what I like to see, the FA Cup and the League Cup. When Liverpool go down to Shrewsbury, and the Shrewsbury players go, you know what? When Salah, he won't dive today, because when he's flying through the air, actually means that I have hooved him. Honestly, he's not cheating. I really did kick him as hard as I could. It's just, you almost wonder why some of these players, some of our players, don't just, mind you saying that, we did that, didn't we? Who was it? Who's the defender got sent off after we won the game 1-0 last season? Not Sacco. Okay. Sacco went through, didn't he? Won the ball, went through all the players, got sent off. Anyone else can do it to our players. Nothing. Don't matter who it is. Drives you mad. The inconsistency is crap.
Okay, before we carry on with Kevin Friend, I want to talk about, just mention something in the chat. Pin your ears back, guys, and pay attention. See how long it takes you to pick up what Laurie Scott has said in the chat. Laurie Scott, he says, let's face it, Son didn't shine, and Kane wasn't able.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah. Round of applause for that. So he said, Son didn't shine, and Kane wasn't able. Very, very good, Laurie. Kevin Friend, Jel, so you're aware, at half time, the players obviously came out in 2 different locations after the half time break. Yeah.
Came out with the Spurs players.
Came out with the fucking Spurs players. In fact, he was joking and laughing and getting really pally with his mates in Lily White. It's no different in my book to Mark Clattenburg and Manchester United. Your thoughts, mate, and go for it.
No, I mean, it's just, it literally is. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I've got my... Thanks, girl. Thank you. So just my assistant just brought me out some more tea.
It's a smacking one.
I had this conversation with a West Brom fan. I'm not sure if I said this last week, about we were probably in the Premier League for about 3 years, and we were playing Chelsea, and whoever it was, John Terry fouls one of our players, and the referee, literally, the crowd goes silent, and he goes, "John, come here," and he goes, "23, come here." Now, at the time, I don't think we had a John playing for us. No. And he wasn't using it as a euphemism or just as a nickname. He was calling John Terry to him and called our player by his number. And I'm like, piss off, mate. I can guarantee that Kevin Friend probably knew two of our players, I would say that he probably knows James MacArthur and Wilf Zaha. And he knows he's going to try and book Wilf, that Wilf's got a crap attitude, and he knows that he's going to end up speaking to him 5, 6, 7 times. And it'll be, well, you know, it looked like a bit of a dive, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Or, yeah, all right, mate, got back chatting me, or you're going to get a card. It's just, it's hideous. And these referees, like I said, they're unaccountable to anybody, to the club. It seems you never hear that the club have gone. That referee was saying we are actually going to go to the Premier League and say, don't bring him down anymore. You just don't bring him. You know, I don't know what to do. If I was as biased in my job as he is, I wouldn't get any work. I think it's tantamount to cheating. I know it's a bit harsh, and it's a big accusation, but for me, it's tantamount to cheating. So just watch what happens today. Liverpool, Fulham. Fulham have been absolutely robbed today, and you just think, and the referee only the second time. You know, I think it's the second time. Anyone can just turn around and go, yeah, the second time. In Europe the other day, when he should have sent Fred off, went, nah, it's all right, don't worry about that, Man United, second biggest club in the world, whatever, just give me yellow when it should have been a red. There was a penalty. All day long it was a penalty. And the referee went, he was invited to go to the monitor. Usually, every time, isn't it? It's 100%, isn't it, over here, when you're invited to go to the monitor? And he turns it over. Go on, Grant.
Just a real quickie, because you triggered a thought in my mind. Was VAR in play today? So we didn't see anything at all attached to it.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was checked a couple of times as well in play.
Yeah, okay, we saw nothing in the ground at all.
Yeah, dangerous foul play.
In the second half, I said to my in the first half, I said to my son-in-law, Wilf was down by the Sainsbury's end, where the away fans usually are, and it looked like he threw an elbow. It looked like he did that, and I went, oh, that's it, Messi gone. And I think they did. And then the referee came over, had a bit of a go at both players. Yeah. But I thought that was... So it was in play a couple of times today, but obviously you're only going to know about it if the play gets stopped by Stockley Park, and then the referee will turn around and give it all that and do whatever he needs to do and cheat us a little bit more.
Well, I mean, we all know that 2020 has been a weird year. Palace getting a point at Tottenham, Arsenal, Fulham getting a point against the champions Liverpool. Granit Xhaka has actually been sent off for Arsenal, for those that haven't seen it. Just strange. Yes, T, go for it.
Don't you think VAR would work if they did it the same as they do it in rugby union, with the referee and the VAR connected so the crowd can hear what's going on? It works in rugby union. Why?
Jill says no, and we'll find out why in a second. But I think you'll probably find in the next couple of years that will be the natural evolution of it. See, for sure. Whether it's the right thing or not, let the words of wisdom come from Mr. Holyoke and find out why.
And I'll tell you for why. Because the rugby fan is the more subdued fan, even though he might be the bigger, more, I don't know, intelligent, whatever. You know, the class difference is always thrown at rugby and football. But
they're no less passionate, Joe. They're no less passionate.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that very rarely do you hear about riots at rugby that football could. What would happen, Teresa, is where we're all pretty confident that the referees will let certain things go for one team and won't let them go for another team. That would be blatantly obvious, because they would have to even things up. They're always going to be in the ears of the fans live, and that, for me, that doesn't work football, because football is too tribal. It's tribalistic, and if you've got 5,000 Millwall fans at Charlton, and Charlton get a penalty, and the referee goes, well, it's all a penalty, and everyone would be like, what? And if it was or it wasn't, you know, then it's all off, and you're always going to get that the hardcore who wants to cause trouble. Yet in rugby, they just go, I'll have another Pims, please. Can't go with that decision. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you do, but I mean that comes down to discipline on every side, though, doesn't it? You don't see the players in rugby union running up and giving the referee a mouthful. It's yes, sir, sorry, sir, back away.
Yeah, because what happens is they had a rule which again has gone out of rugby. If you badmouth the referee or question the decision, you got a 10-yard penalty. And
well, that's the point. Funny enough, Ian Lyons just said that in the chat. He said that will stop the swearing and calm some of the players down. Shall we get back to the game anyway, guys? So Jeffrey Schlupp scored a late goal for Crystal Palace, an equaliser after a mistake by Hugo Lloris to deny Tottenham victory before their top of the table game against Liverpool this coming Wednesday. Harry Kane put Spurs on course for their 6th win in 7 games with a shot from 30 yards, which Vicente Guaita should have saved. We're going to talk about that next, guys. The Spaniard Guaita had kept Spurs at bay with 3 excellent saves to deny Ndombele, Reguilon and Kane before being caught out by the England captain's long-range swerving shot. Grant, from behind the homestyle, how did it look?
Yeah, we had a bang on view from it. The ball just seemed to, about 2/3 of the journey, just hit something and go the other way. It swerved well, it actually didn't swerve. These balls are so light, they just changed direction. It just changed direction, left him wrong-footed. Didn't have a chance, to poor bug. I mean, he was just, it was as gobsmacked as everyone else was. Like you say, literally 2 or 3 minutes before that, he'd made some fantastic saves. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Nothing more than that.
He was trying to explain it to who's their reserve goalkeeper, England goalkeeper.
Butland.
No,
Joe Hart.
Reserve Joe Hart. He was trying to explain it to Joe Hart as they were walking off the pitch. I don't know if you saw it. You probably wouldn't have seen that, Grant. He was literally going like this to say the ball was doing that in midair. I don't think. I mean, there was in one of our chats that I've got. Okay, there was some bad mouthing of the goalkeeper. He effed up and he's done this and he's done that. But the reality was, Jill, I want you to give me your overall thoughts on the different saves. How good is Vicente Guaita, please? Is he the best goalkeeper that we've had in recent times in our Premier League in Premier League terms?
God, you're putting him up against Speroni, and they're 2 different goalkeepers. All goalkeepers are prone to clangers. Jules has had some.
And Hennessy, don't forget.
Yeah, but then Hennessy's pulled off worldies as well. You can't just turn around and say that, he was just disliked by the fans from the start, really. Hennessy was never given. I mean, had that been him today, I'm telling you now, that people would have been booing. Vicente is now a fan favourite, and he probably will get cut the same slack as Jules would. Jules, I mean, that mistake he made against Liverpool in his last game was horrendous. But no one's gonna have a go at him because of one save, the best save that he ever made. That was probably worth, I reckon. We've been in the Premier League. This is our 8th year, getting on for a £1 billion save. The save from Ashley, what's his face at Brighton, right? That goes in, we lose that game. We go to Wembley, we win. Simple as. He's come in and he's made some great. He is a great shot stopper, but he won't dive at a forward's foot like Julian Speroni would have. He won't do that. But he is a very good shot stopper, and instinctively he's as good as Nigel Martin for me. And Martin's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. And that goes
you're absolutely right.
And all that.
I'm really pleased you mentioned that, because in the chat they're talking about the 3: Nigel Martin, Julian Speroni.
I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone in the garden. So
no, and Vicente Guaita. Ladies and gentlemen at Facebook land, who is the best? Kevin Lyons is saying Nigel Martin is the best. Andrew Adams is saying Jules is Mr. Palace, but Vicente is a better keeper for him. Someone was talking about the Brighton save. Matty Cannon saying Vicente Guaita, top class, will go down as a Palace legend in time. It says as we keep him, but I think it means if we keep
Who's
him.
the best
Laurie
goalkeeper
Scott.
you've seen, Bruiser?
Who?
Who's the best goalkeeper have you seen at Palace? Because I reckon
Nigel
there's
Martin.
not many years between all of us, well, apart from Nick being 60 odd, whatever.
Nigel
Who's the best
Martin.
goalkeeper? Nigel Martin. Granty, who's the best goalkeeper you've seen at Palace?
Nigel Martin.
Nick?
John Jackson. And I did see John Jackson, so I'm sorry, boys. Johnny Jackson to me was playing a different era, of course, was as good, if not better than any of those. But probably Nigel Martin because of what he went on to achieve in the game. Julius Speroni for what he went on to achieve with the club. Okay, bringing back Palace. Vicente Guaita, what we've unearthed there is possibly a living legend in the making. But my biggest concern, and I'm talking to you all here, so jump in any of you guys, but out in the Facebook land, you know what's coming next. June the 1st, he's out of contract, ladies and gentlemen. Why has he not been offered a new one? Has he been offered a new one? And why hasn't he? Joanne Phillips has just agreed with me. She said John Jackson. Okay, thank you. What's going on with his contract? Anybody care to enlighten me? Anybody care to guess?
I haven't got a clue.
Well, the thing is now, after today and the saves that he's made, I wouldn't be surprised to see massive offers come in for him. And I think if we don't get him to sign soon, we're going to lose him.
Well, I don't think we will do. I don't think we will do. And I'll tell you for why. He'll go back to these players earn so much money that sometimes it's not all about the money. It's all about a bit of loyalty. And he's on record too many times saying that he loves the fact that he was given a chance by Palace to come to the Premier League.
He tweeted it today.
Yeah, all the time. And I don't think this is all about, unless he's going to a top six. No, I don't think he'll go. I honestly don't think he'll go. I mean, the likes of going to, Man United, Man City, the spotlight and the pressure, he's so massive. But he doesn't need that crap. He's going to get hero status. He can stay here for another 5 years. The money he'll make, the money he's made throughout his life, but this is top money. Will sort him out for the rest of his days, I think. And he will always, it will always be welcome at Palace as almost every one of our players whenever they come back, if they're not still involved. So, we still love to keep a player. We don't really let them go that much, do we? Don't go down the road and then bring them back through the back door. So,
Nigel Crouch has just said in the chat he can sign a pre-contract anywhere in January, which he can. The real panels out there, evening, mate. I hope you're well, buddy. He said on Twitter how in large letters, in capital letters, happy. And he said he put it in caps. He is at Palace, so hopefully he wants to stay. Someone cares to say no. Jel is all about the money. Joan Wells said he's like Speroni. He actually loves Palace, and I think that's a really important point. I think that's what. Oh yeah, so. Arsenal are now 1-0 down. Jay Brownhill's just scored in the 74th minute for Burnley. And Paul Holden's on drugs. He says Scott Flinders is our number one goalkeeper. And, of course, the other one that wasn't mentioned in that trio that we were talking about was Johnny Burridge. I mean, we all know he was mad as a March hare, but I don't think he's a patch on Nigel Martin and even probably Speroni. He was an entertainer. He was indeed. Grant, okay, you give me your overview, please, on the rest of the first half. I thought both sides huffed and puffed, but not an awful lot happened, really. Your thoughts?
You just summed it up, didn't you? What can I say about it? I think Spurs came out with a bit more intent than we did to hit us. I think Jose probably said hit them early, get a goal and stay on top. Did they threaten us? Not really that much. Bit of a stalemate. I think the first half wasn't too exciting. I think I looked at it about 22 minutes. I said to Jane, yeah, it's only 20 minutes gone. It felt like it had been the whole half already. It was quite a slow first half. Not exciting at all.
43rd minute, cool. Yeah, well, I thought it was on the telly. It was actually a little bit more exciting than that. I mean, there was as he had the free kicks, similar as he did against Leeds, which he put straight into the wall. On the 43rd minute, he actually hit the post. Lloris was nowhere near it. Unlucky with that one, Joe, when he hit the foot in the post.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't wrap his foot right the way around it. Otherwise, it would have curled that a little bit more and gone inside the post. But yeah, I mean, it's still, you know, from our new hero, still a really, really good effort. And you know, you can see the confidence from that kid is ridiculous. But you never win anything with kids, do you? So it don't really matter.
Remember, Nick, I've been in 10 minutes before I came on this show. Didn't have the luxury of you watching your notepads and things, making notes through the match.
Well,
I was roughly.
But I thought it was actually very predictable, Grant. And I take your point. You have only just come home for the game, and thank you for jumping straight on after it, because it's but I actually thought, and I was actually written in my notes. Well, actually, do you know what? Half time is pretty predictable. We huffed and puffed. We didn't get anywhere. Okay, and we've gone in 1-0 down at half time, and I was fully expecting Tottenham to come back out second half and put another 3 passes. I had 2 predictions this week. I've got them both wrong. Tottenham would win 4-0 and Palace would win 2-0. Okay, and I've got them both wrong. So that's why I'm so shit at the predictions league. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to laugh, you've got to join the predictions league, because your host of the show is in the bottom. Well, I'm not far off the relegation zone in the prediction league. So come and join us. Come and join that, okay, and take the piss out of me all you like, because it's a bit of fun, and that's what we do with it. Yeah. So and the half time, 1-0 down. Second half, however, slightly different way. I thought they came out. They came out really at it in the second half. Your thoughts?
I thought Spurs came out really, really hard in the first few minutes of the second half. And then Palace seemed to kind of gauge what they were doing, and we made some brilliant, fast counter-attacks. Eze was flying up the pitch and when he got fouled.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it was like we were actually playing as a team. There was some great link-up play. There was some really accurate passing, which I haven't seen for ages from Palace, but they were like cross-field passes. Luca did a beaut all the way across the field to, I think it was Eze picked it up. So,
Teresa, for the benefit of those watching live on screen, could you hold your glass of rosé up, please, love? Because it has been mentioned in the chat.
It's not rosé, it's gin.
It's gin. So, Ian Noble says.
Sam Allardyce. Jesus,
that is a huge glass of rosé, but it ain't gin. Quality. Who was it? Oh, Mark Drew said, Teresa, was your glass half full or half empty? Well, look at that. Nigel Garlic says it's got to be half full. Well, she drunk half of it already. Good on you, girl. Right, boys and lady, and everybody in the chat. I have got. We'll finish off in the second half in a minute, and we'll talk about our goal and all the rest of it. I want to talk about what have we got in Abri Eze. I think, and they're talking about it on TalkSport tonight.
Diamond.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, that's my worry, Teresa, because your point, your word's good, but my concern is that he's already going to start getting noticed by other people, by the clubs, bigger clubs. They're talking about it on TalkSport in the last hour or so, saying, what have they got here? They have got something superb here. Is he far too good already? A bit like they used to do with Zaha. Is he too good for our club?
But he's not doing anything different than he was doing for QPR, and nobody else chose to sign him, but we did.
Well, yeah, Newcastle were in for him as well. He chose us over Newcastle.
Yeah, well, would choose anyone over Newcastle, wouldn't you?
Nigel lives in Cutter off, Nigel. He lives there.
He lives in Sunderland.
He's
Sunderland.
No, whatever. Newcastle, Sunderland's the same, nearly. I get hate mail for that. You watch. He just gives a different dynamic down that left-hand side. the reason we look really good in the second half attacking them is because Van Arnold decided that he wasn't just going to stay, he was going to go into the second half of the other half of the pitch. As soon as he crosses the halfway line, we have the sort of 3 or 4 players that link up over there. We can go past anybody, and they are Jeff Schlupp when he runs down that left hand side. He's quick. Zaha's quick. And the other thing as well, not forgetting that when Mitchell comes back, he bombs down there as well. So when eventually he's allowed to play in the first team and he bombs on, he has got a great cross. He's got a great cross in him. So we are very strong down the left hand side. But when we get on it, there's not a lot of teams that can stop us going. Our main threat is there. But yeah, for me, it does seem he's a great player. He
is. I think he's fantastic.
Great.
I would love to see Benteke and Batshuayi up front with Wilf and Eze both on the wings, because they can't double team both Eze and Wilf without leaving the strikers free. In my humble opinion.
But you saw what happened as soon as Wilf went out on the right, on the out wide today. You just saw that he was just kicked. They don't care about giving away free kicks. They don't want free kicks given away central, because that's where everyone's dangerous. And we have now Eze and Luca for free kicks that are central. So, you can put Wilf out wide. They'll kick him all day long because it's like a corner, and our corners, although they've picked up of late, they've generally been crap. We're not a massive threat from corners.
They picked up of late because of Eze's delivery, and that's why. Grant, I would like to talk to you, if you don't mind, about the manager now, because I think he needs to take an awful lot of credit today, because he set the team up correctly, but he also negated Heung-min Son, or whatever his name is. Okay, Song had a very poor game. Now, did he have a poor game because the players around him weren't supporting him, or did he have a poor game because exactly, or did he have a poor game, Grant, because Hodgson set our team up well enough to negate what he does for that team?
I personally don't think he had a poor game. We stopped him playing. There's a difference between those two things. Yeah. I see Son. He always bloody scores against us, doesn't he? I think he, to me, he's the danger in their team. I mean, they have got a formidable partnership there. That's the Brighton of this era, isn't it? Son and Kane. It really is. I mean, they are on fire. Who wouldn't love having the team? But Son was the player you had to stop today. He really was. Of course, Kane scored the goal. But no, he didn't play badly. We just stopped him playing, and we stopped him playing very, very well. He likes space, he likes to run with you. They just stopped him. They kept him out wide as well. Yeah, I think we stopped him nicely. How many times did I say I think we stopped him?
Yeah, we stopped him. Yeah, I think we got that. He stopped him. Who would like to talk us through the goal, our goal? Any volunteers?
It was a bit scrappy, wasn't it? I mean, well, not that it was scrappy. I mean, it was a good crossover. It was a good cross into the box. Kind of keeper half got a hand to it, but didn't gather it completely. There was a bit of a scuffle and it went in. Kind of what I saw.
Yeah.
If you're going to let Wilf cut in from the right hand side and have a shot, you're always going to end up. Let anybody cut in, you're always going to end up with goalkeepers now. We've they less and less they're willing to try and grab the ball. They're always trying to palm it. And luckily for us, he palmed it straight out, and Schlupp runs in and hits it as hard as he can. But it's something that it's nothing that we didn't deserve. No, that's all right. It's nothing that we didn't deserve. We deserved that goal. We put enough pressure on them to deserve that. So, as long as our goalkeepers playing like Superman the other end, we've always got half a chance.
Yeah.
Listen, just in case it goes, I've got 3% battery left, so it's taking me down 3% at a time. So he cuts off.
Okay, good night. All right. Okay. Well, okay. Before you go, then I'm going to come to you, and then Grant, I'm coming straight to you on the same question. Somebody's mentioned, and I think it was Summer Kearson mentioned it, and I was going to bring it up anyway. Lots of talk in the press this week about Dele Alli coming to Palace on loan. Jel, how would we fit Dele Alli into our front line, or even across the midfield? What would he bring to the team?
He'd get Luca out. Someone snap Luca up in training. Done. Christ, I mean, he's not going to come to us. He isn't going to come. He will literally go to a big club. I mean, for me, on his day, he's very, very good. Very too good for us. You know, I never thought I'd ever say that anyone was really too good for us, but he really is. I'd love to see him at us. I can't see it though. I mean, I know they were talking about it on Sky today that Mourinho, and he had form with him from before he got to the club. So when he turned up, I think he almost knew his days were numbered. But I mean, he doesn't have a place for him. And while Spurs are playing the football that they're playing over the last sort of 15 months, there isn't a place for him. So, and he ain't frightened of letting good players go either. You know, who's the midfield genius who he let go to AC or something like that? The little Finnish guy. I mean, he's just unbelievable. They let some good players go, Spurs, because if they don't fit, these players are wanting first team football. They're not frightened of letting them go. But if there was half a chance that Dele Alli could come to Palace on loan, crikey, I'd literally would. I'd buy a season ticket.
What?
Well, Andy
Okay.
Andrews is saying in the chat, MacArthur to Rangers and get Dele Alli on loan.
There you go. Now, to me, that makes absolute. Thank you for that. I didn't see that. Ladies and gentlemen, out in Facebook land, how would we squeeze Dele Alli into our midfield stroke front line at the moment? Who would make room for it? And that, Teresa, would make perfect sense. Grant, you had your hand
credit
up.
Andy Andrews for that. It wasn't me.
Just quickly, sorry, Grant. Just going to cut off in a minute. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to have his 10 years. He's going to have his testimonial, mate. He all the players we've ever had, 2 players, Ward and MacArthur, testimonials. They ain't going nowhere. I'll be gutted if he goes. He deserves the proper thing off.
Yeah, McCarthy is what he's talking about. Yeah.
McCarthy.
Are you talking about McCarthy or MacArthur?
McCarthy.
Ah, yeah, get rid of him.
Luca,
sorry,
Daniel
Grant.
Garlick saying Luca out, Ali in. Go on, Grant, over to you, mate.
That's right. Talking about Dele counter, I mean, for me, yeah, great player. But what
Dele
he would bring,
counter.
his attitude. I don't like his attitude at all. I think it stinks. He looks down. Loftus-Cheek, he was too good for us, wasn't he? But he came, so why wouldn't Dele come to us? Why put us down?
Now, though, isn't he?
Here we go. For loan players, who would you rather have, Loftus-Cheek or Dele Alli?
Loftus-Cheek.
All day. All day. Absolutely all day.
All day long.
We need to be going for him next year.
Yeah, but that means buying him, because we won't be able to take him and keep back away. So you got to
Ain't?
big money.
Go forward,
big money. Big money.
We've got to get rid of big money. We've got too many old players on big money. They'll be going soon anyway.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, obviously we finished the game 1-1. I was a bit concerned with the next 3 games coming up. Inform West Ham, obviously Spurs today, and next weekend against Liverpool. And I was worried about where we were going to get our next point from. Well, we don't have to worry about the other 2 results this week, because we've already got that one point today. So I was delighted with that. Boys and ladies, I've got a question for you. This is completely random and real left field. It's come from Nigel Rose. Nigel Rose wrote to me in the week, okay, and set me this question. And unfortunately, I never got to it. He wrote to me on Messenger, and he said to me, Nick, he said something obviously quite large happened in Croydon over the last couple of weeks. Could you ask the panel, how do you think it will influence anything that goes on at Palace? And he's talking about development of us. Croydon Council going bust is the topic, guys, very quickly. I'm going to let you all touch on it. Croydon Council going bust. How do you think, is there any implications to the Sellers Park redevelopment, okay, or anything to do with Crystal Palace Football Club? Grant, I know you've moved out of the area, but I'm going to kick off with you, because you might give us a level-headed answer to it.
It can't go bust, can they? Part of the government cannot go bust. That's a non-entity question, really. It's not going to happen. It's not going to change anything.
But how
Sorry.
can it go bankrupt?
Joe, Grant has gone bankrupt. Croydon Council has gone bankrupt.
It can't go bankrupt. It's impossible. The government
Slow government.
3-0 Brighton losing.
Is that the dirty leads, Steve?
We don't talk about what happened the other week. we don't talk about that.
All right, mate.
I have to say, your goalkeeper was absolutely immense today. He was brilliant.
Thank you, Steve. Cheers, mate. Nice to see you again, buddy. Fill my glass. Jill, you got any thoughts on that? Jill, you got any thoughts on the Croydon Council thing?
Not really, mate. I live in the London Borough of Bromley. With so much of a,
Yeah,
little bit posture.
The only difference
Probably when we're drunk, a little bit trashier, but you know what it is. I don't know.
It's true.
It might be true, but it won't affect us because all it'll do is it'll take it up a level to government at the highest point. So if we have to go through, I don't know how they'll work out. They'll probably get emergency bailout funding. I've never heard of a local authority actually going bankrupt, but but that's what I'm saying. I've never heard of it. So it'll be a Google thing later, won't it? That's what it'll be.
No, it's not. Ben Agbamoni says Croydon going bust has and will not impact what happens in the development of Sellers Park. Nigel Rose has come back and said they have gone bankrupt. It was on the news, local and wide. Daniel Garlick said the council are not funding the redevelopment, so it won't be affected. Good point, mate. And yeah, I think that's all of them. So the reality is, go on.
The only way that it will affect is they will stop funding local playing field or local football soccer academies in the summer. So that's going to affect maybe the players coming through. The other way it'll affect is they'll just be asking for bigger backhanders, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we haven't paid our planning bill. Be a touch, wouldn't it?
Or maybe they need a bigger brown envelope from Steve Parish to buy them out farmers. Allegedly. Listen, ladies, I mean, I think it's probably a good place to wrap it up. Let's have some predictions from you. We're away at West Ham and home to Liverpool over the next 7 days. In the chat, please give us your thoughts. Give us your predictions, your score predictions for West Ham away. I think he's on Wednesday night, and next weekend against these guys from the northwest. What are your thoughts in there? Let us know. What do you think the scores are? Grant, I know you don't like doing predictions, but so I'm going to ask you, what are your predictions, please?
Liverpool, I think we'll get a draw, pretty much like today. West Ham, I can actually see us winning. I'm not coming off the back of a couple of results and I'm excited. I'm being pedantic. Yeah, West Ham, we always like winning over. So I'll take £4 points out of those two games.
We get 4 points out of those two games. Very, very optimistic. Paul Obi, McMurray are saying both draws. Colin Squires is saying 1-1. Tom Samuel saying 2-2. Max Francis is saying a 1-3 win. Ian Lyons is saying draw with both. Now, don't forget, at the moment, Ian Lyons is top of our predictions league, so he's doing pretty well. Lee Lockwood saying 2-1, both games Palace. Someone Kearson saying 1-1. Lose at West Ham and beat the Scousers, says Paul Glance. Teresa, your predictions for those two games, please.
I think we'd be unlucky if we only got 4 points. I think we can do West Ham definitely 2-1. And Liverpool played today against Fulham. I reckon we can beat them as well, 1-0. There you go, that's my prediction.
Well, I've got 1 left. I'm going to be done. 2-1. Right. Beat West Ham 2-1, lose 2-1 to Liverpool.
Joe, I'm going to wrap up anyway, so cut yourself off, mate. Thank you for joining us, buddy. And we'll see you. I'll see you next week for
Good night,
review
everyone.
on both those games. See you later, mate. Ladies and gentlemen in Facebook land, thank you for watching us. Grant, any last thoughts on today's game and on today's arrangements? Just Palace sort it out.
Great. It's a part of Palace history now, so that's fantastic to be a part of that. It's the first one back. It's, as we say, it's unprecedented event. So I hope the club learn from it. But a great experience to be in there today.
Teresa, your final thoughts on having the crowd back at the stadium?
Oh, it sounded great. It absolutely sounded great.
Say again, Grant.
Sorry, what was it like on telly? I've seen it.
You
Go on,
could
Tracy.
hear
Go on,
the
Tracy.
crowd. You could hear the chants.
Absolutely.
It was lovely to hear it back. I just hope I'm in the draw for the Liverpool game.
Well, it's
Was our appreciation of the referee clear?
No.
Actually, yeah. I mean, you're disdaining the referee for sure. Yeah, well, especially at half time. I have to say the crowd were very good today. Really positive. Some good chants going on. Quite clearly hear it on the TV. There were a couple of quieter moments. I suppose it's a readjustment for the fans that are in the ground. So congratulations to each and every one of you inside the stadium. You're all Eagles. You did us proud. Grant, of course, you and Jane for representing the show, and Ian Noble, of course. Ian Noble will be back with us next week, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to kill it a night there. We're going to have probably a long one for next Sunday because of the 2 games and depending on how the results go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening and supporting the Red and Blue Review. Please give this a quick like before you log off for the evening. Grant Saunders, thank you for joining us. Teresa Baker, we'll see you again soon. And thank you for everything you do. Ladies and gentlemen out in Facebook land, on behalf of myself, Nick Philpott, please wear that mask. Please wear that mask. Please wear that mask. God bless and good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you.